Friends, welcome to my videos. So in this video we are going to learn about the usage of active and passive voice. So we all know this is a highly discussed topic about what to use, and especially when it comes to the examination like IELTS, it's very important that you use this correctly, and you should use it in the best way possible. So let's go through it. So before I begin with this topic, I can tell you that most of the textbooks and most of the people recommend you to use active voice over passive. There are many factors like based on the style of describing the meaning. Active voice always describes strong, meaningful sentences. So that's why people prefer it. But there are certain circumstances where you can use passive voice to display the actual meaning or to describe the actual meaning. So let's go through both of them one by one. Let's start with the active voice. So when it comes to the active voice, the subject actually performs the action as described by the verb. For example, you have got three sentences in front of you cited as examples by me. I cleaned the room, John ate mangoes, he directed the movie. So in all the three sentences, if I ask you to pick up the subjects, you are going to pick I, John, he. So next, when it comes to the action, yes, actions are there, and actions are as per the verbs. So I cleaned, John ate, he directed. So in all three sentences we see the subject actually does the action or performs the action as described by the verb. Now let's go to the passive voice. So again I have written the exact three sentences in the passive voice. So let's go through them. So what happens in a passive voice? In a passive voice, in a passive voice sentence, the subject receives the action described by the verb. So here, the first sentence becomes the room was cleaned by me. Second becomes mangoes were eaten by John. Third becomes the movie was directed by him. So in all these three sentences, we see the subject. Now the subject is changed here. Now room, mangoes, movie, these are the subjects here, and these subjects receive actions as described by their respective verbs. So this is the difference. Like in the passive voice, the subject actually receives the action rather than performs the action. So this is the easiest way you can always distinguish between a sentence written in active voice or a sentence written in passive voice. So this is how you can perform and you can decide what exactly you are going to write. Now when it comes to the usage, when you should use what? So in certain scenarios, when you don't know the exact subject, you can change it into a passive voice. Let me give you an example if I was confusing. For example, you can say the street was cleaned. So when you say this statement, the street was cleaned, you don't know who cleaned the street. So if you want to describe the situation and you don't know who cleaned the street, how can you say? Was it me, you, or any cleaning worker? We don't know. So in such a case, what would you say? The street was cleaned. The bank was robbed. Uh, the train was crashed. So there could be many examples where you don't know the actual subject. So in order to avoid any confusion, you can always convert them into the passive voice safely. And by this you can just flip the subjects. I mean, you don't know the subject for the active voice, so you convert it into the passive voice and use the subject as it receives the action rather than it performs. So in this way you can just make the sentence correct as per the grammar rules. And in your IELTS exam, if you follow your grammar rules and if you write it correctly, if you speak it correctly, definitely you are gonna get good bands. So I hope you like this video. Please put your feedback, comments, and anything you wanna say about this video. And do not forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.